sure there's plenty of you out there who are on the way up, working on your $1 million per year, your multi-million dollar investment portfolio strategy, your big business. You're going to make it. Now that I finally made it, let me give you the 5 things that I really wish I understood or knew about myself, about money, about the world, about how it's going to be. Everything that I wish I knew before I made my income and started making millions of dollars per year in real estate. Let's jump in. Number 1, let me just tell you that it becomes an obsession. I wish that I knew in advance exactly how deeply tied my whole identity would become to the businesses that I run. And it's not a negative thing by any means. I'll say that I prioritize my businesses. I prioritize them over my relationships, family, friends, romantic, otherwise. And I'm very much happy with the world that I've built that allows me to have the lifestyle that I lead and to be able to build the businesses that I own and have that freedom to build and take those risks. I've become a risk-oriented person, and I've started to identify with that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. It's part of my personal identity, and I'm deeply tied to that. So there becomes a point, though, that it's no longer as important to make money, right? When you have enough of it. And so I can't tell you where that's going to be for you. I can tell you that when I was 16, I thought I'd be retiring making $50,000 per year when I was in my late 50s or 60s, because I grew up in a poor town in Wisconsin, and that's what up looked like to me. And I remember just seeing an article from Mark Cuban who says now that he's made like over $40 billion or is worth more than that, he's no longer like worried about like money. He's got different priorities. So there will be a point in time where you shift away from money being everything. It's cool to get there and have the option. But let me tell you that once you do get there, like I'm starting to approach that part of my life where I can just make more money or I can do something else. And I am deeply tied to the making more money part of my brain, right? The more you use your brain, the more that part that gets used starts to grow and becomes more efficient. It's like depression. The more you're depressed, the easier it is to have negative thoughts or to become depressed again, right? So by being a workaholic or being obsessed with innovation or change or learning, that becomes who you are, right? What you do every day becomes who you are. So that's number 1, is I really wish that I understood how deeply tied that I would get to this. Number 2, money comes and it goes. You're not going to amass millions of dollars and then be safe, right? So what you're working on right now, you might be doing something that no one else is doing, which is awesome. That's probably one of the easier ways to make money. If everyone else is doing it, you're probably doing it wrong, right? So in this case, if you're doing something new, you could innovate. You could do like a blue ocean strategy and make some sick money. Like I'm in Airbnb. That's how I make a lot of my money. And when the founders of Airbnb started Airbnb, no one else was doing it. Now there's a lot of players in the game, right? So what happened is they were able to get their come up real easily, right? They got it like locked in. Nobody was competing with them. But now where they are, everybody's got a target on their back. So one of my friends in Houston back in like 2009, when I went homeless, he had a mentor, and that mentor actually had a gym membership at one of his gyms, right? So it's kind of an interesting dynamic that they had. But the mentor said to him, you have to fight to keep what you've built. You may think that you're safe or that since you built it, you've earned it, you're entitled to it, but that's not true. There are people right now sleeping, dreaming about taking away from you what you've built. See, it's easier to build it than it is to keep it, because once you've proven something, somebody else is going to try to take it from you. So I wish I knew that building it was only the beginning. Fighting to stay relevant, fighting to stay innovative, fighting to keep what you've built is the next battle once you get there. Number 3, even though it's awesome, it does not define your happiness. Now, I can tell you that I'm roughly the same level of happy that I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So I grew up in a really tough childhood, so I'm not going to say that my childhood I was as happy. My parents were alcoholics and drug addicts, and they were violent, and that was rough. But coming out of that allowed me to have like a more thick skin, like Teflon skin actually, and everything rolled off my back real easily. So 18, I worked third shift in a rubber factory, and then I'd go to a skate park at 7 in the morning and learn to skateboard, and I had my music, and I went to music school after that year in this factory job, and I was on the way up from the bottom. See, progress is what makes you happy. The fact that you're on your way to making your dreams come true is what really matters the most out of all things. See, if making millions of dollars per year is your dream, and you're on the way to achieving your dream, that's going to matter, right? If your dream is to make millions a year and you're not on your way, you're going to be really hard on yourself. But your dream may be just to lose weight, right? I know a lot of people, like myself included, could stand to lose a little bit of weight. But whatever it is that you care about, as long as you're on the journey to that destination and you can believe or imagine that you will achieve it, you will be just as happy along the way as if you already got it. right? So don't be in such a hurry to get it, because if you're going to get it anyway, enjoy the ride, right? But if you're not going to get it unless you like throw all the burners into the mix and like you have to do it, then do it at all costs. And that leads me to number 4. At all costs is a deep phrase, and you really have to sign up for it if you want to walk that line. I know a lot of you guys are all about like the reputation entrepreneurship. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Oh, look at, like, I'm gonna show off my first nice car that I got. But you guys are being stupid by buying the nice car as soon as you got a little bit of money, right? The whatever it takes means driving the Honda. Did you know that I make like over $3 million a year and I drive a Honda Civic? I'm cool with it. And I leave it in Philadelphia and I walk around when I'm in Dallas or Uber every now and then. When somebody crashed in the back of my Jaguar XJL Super Sport, because I was dumb once too, right? I got some money. I bought an AMG Mercedes. I wrecked that Mercedes. Then I bought a cash car to punish myself for being a dumbass. And then later on, after I started making my Airbnb money, I bought an XJL Super Sport Jaguar because I was about to go on a date with a girl and she was like some super high class family and I wanted to impress her. And I come from nothing, right? I come from no money and I'm all super nervous about this date. So what do? I go blow and I buy all my cars cash. So I blew a bunch of my liquidity on a car because I was like 26 and I thought that this was the time to do that. So then I drove that car around for a while. Somebody hit me from behind, and I decided that instead of like buying another car, I got 3 Airbnb properties with the car money, and I bought a Honda Civic cash, and I've been driving the Honda Civic ever since, and putting every spare dollar into my Airbnb business so I could scale it and rapidly grow it. So at all costs, the whatever it takes mentality. If you want to be that entrepreneur, you've got to sign the up. You've got to do it. Pardon my French, but it's not going to be easy. You don't get to shine. You don't get to floss along the way. You don't get to like play cool. You have to go into hiding and grind and come back out when you finally made it. You don't get both, right? You don't get the fame and the money, right? A lot of people, they want the title, they want the income, and they want the vacations up front. And if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to make it. So that's number 4. If you want to do this at all cost thing, be prepared to do it at all costs and be prepared to do whatever sucks along the way. And then after you've done that, then you can put that badge on your sash and say, you know what, I'm the Boy Scout that did whatever sucked and I made it. Number 5, it's absolutely worth it. Now, I don't have a single second, not a moment of regret to the fact that I gave the last 14 years of my life to creating something. Like, I grew up super poor, maybe I was obsessed with it, but I didn't have money and some other people even had a modest amount and they treated me like shit in middle school, elementary school, high school, you know, the whole bullied because you're poor thing. And I was like 5'4" until senior year, so I couldn't even like defend myself if I wanted to. But maybe that obsession is what started it, but I needed something. And you know what was great is that kept me warm at night. The last 14 years knowing that I was going to make it, because I spent a lot of time reading and trying new things. I got into sales. I got good at sales. I became like number 1 in the little sales company that I was in. And then I learned how to lead through that company. And then I went homeless, but then I very quickly tried to find a way out because I was like scrappy and resilient. I figured I could do it. The whole time I kept my confidence, which kept me hopeful, right? Which still allowed me to have that swagger of life, like I'm making it happen. And even though I was like eating ramen noodles or eating crow or my foot sometimes, I felt good about it. So the journey, because I stayed happy during the journey, like I told you, I didn't suffer. I have not suffered on the way up. Now I'm making like more than $3 million a year on Airbnb. It's not the only 7-figure business that I own. It's the only one we really talk about on this channel though. More to come, I guess, on that later. Like when this runs its course, if ever, we'll talk about more stuff. But I would not change a thing. Maybe I would get a mentor. If I could. I would say that if I was going to give you a bonus 6th one is that a mentor is probably the most valuable thing you can get. And if you can't get a mentor, you can get books and you can self-educate, because the only difference between where you are now and where you will be in a year is the people you meet and the books you read. And mentors have seen some scrappy stuff that they're not going to put in a book. Because if I'm going to write a book for you, okay, not me. If I'm going to write a book for you, I'm going to tell it to you, the whole thing. I'm going to give you the stuff. I'm going to give you what sucks, what's cool. I'm proud of the fact that I've gone through some shit and that I've done some things wrong to make it happen. I'll put that in my book, but there's a lot of people who are too like careful with their brand that they won't tell you really what was dirty about their come up. So getting a mentor will be the way that allows you to really like, okay, pull the veil, right? Let's Mr. Wizard of Oz. Let's see what's inside the hood and tell me really how this works. A mentor will do that for you. So grind hard, make a reputation for yourself. That reputation will bring you deal flow. It will bring you people who want to work with you, invest in you, work for you, be part of that journey, like love the journey, invest in those people that come into your bubble, and create a team, because the next evolution of humanity is teams driven. You can do so much on your own, but you can only go so far on your own. And we have like obviously like this YouTube channel you're watching, there's like an insane amount of information in the era that we live in. And information is no longer enough. You need to master the art of learning, but you also need to learn to collaborate, right? You need to share your vision in a safe way, get people involved with you, and then drive that vision forward with multiple people. Because my Airbnb business, if it was just me, couldn't happen. I can't clean 60 apartments by myself in a day, can I? I can't. So it's not only going to be you. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching Airbnb Automated. Subscribe for more and remember to like the video. I'll see you on the other side.